What's up, everybody? It is the Best Spot Kiss Move, and I'm back with a video. And today I'm talking about PlayStation, because all PlayStation fanboys do is talk about Xbox, for better, for worse. This one is because it's like there's been this trend, and shout out to Okami13 on Twitter for putting up this curated list of PlayStation canceled games. Ever since PlayStation have jumped on this games as a service mantra, you know, their two-prong approach. You know, obviously PlayStation has been the king of single player, third person, over the shoulder, companion, over the top campaign single player experiences. And that's been their bread and butter. But they understand that they don't make enough of those, and they don't come out quick enough, and they can't afford for any of those, you know, to flop. So they wanted to get into the games as a service business and make sure that there were producing enough games that can be, you know, played in the multiplayer factor, where they can, you know, take advantage of microtransactions, battle passes, skins, all that jazz. So they acquired a bunch of studios. They've pretty much have a lot of their studios pivot to these type of games. And what it resulted in how many games have they launched successfully since this initiative? They launched Helldivers 2, which it's not really their game. You know what I mean? It's I think they own the IP, but it's, you know, that was something, you know, else. Yeah, it's an exclusive. It's also on PC. That was very successful, very popular on PC. All right. They've acquired Bungie, the experts at games as a service, and they allow them to, you know, dictate how other studios, you know, produce multiplayer games, and that led to a lot of cancellations, a la The Last of Us factions. And but Bungie hasn't launched really anything there. They should be releasing a game called Marathon, I think. I don't know if it's this year or next year. The other studio, Firewalk, is it Firewalk? They released Concord, and that probably had the quickest sunset of any video game launch. Just to give you guys a heads up, you know, remember that game Bleeding Edge? That game is still online. Like it could still be played. And I mean, I don't know if anybody's playing it, but just to give you kind of a heads up of the type of support, like that's how quick Concord died. So list of canceled games, PlayStation Live Service games from roughly the past years. This is obviously off the heels of PlayStation announcing 2 canceled games in progress. One was going to be I don't know how this was going to work, but one was going to be a unannounced God of War game that was a games as a service. I don't know how that was going to work, and I think Blue Point was working on that. So that got canned, and the other game was a game from Ben Studios. They were working on a game, and that also got canceled. Now, these cancellations come because Concord was such a flop, a mega flop, that it incited fear into the other projects that they had in development. And Sony just said, you know what, just cancel them. So right now, here's a full list of the notable games. And a lot of these games are actually from studios they recently acquired. Concord, it launched, it died quickly, it got shut down, and I think the studio closed down. God of War game canceled. It was going to be somehow they were going to make a games as a service God of War. The Last of Us Factions, this is probably the only game that I don't think should have gotten canceled, considering that Factions was actually popular. They should have just let it rock and see what happens, right? But for some reason it got canceled. I think Last of Us Factions got canceled before even Concord launched. So there's that. Spider-Man 2, they're going to have this multiverse. Now, I will say that trailer that they showed, the concept and everything, that got leaked, I thought actually might have worked. And if you're going to trust at least a studio to release a decent game, trust Insomniac, right? So, but that got canned. Ben Studios game, you know, hey, it is what it is. Twisted Metal, that was canceled. London Studios co-op game, and the studio closed, that was canceled. Deviation Games, their game that they were working on, canceled. And this was, I remember Deviation, this was a big deal because they were making a big deal. Like the people were from Call of Duty and Activision, Blizzard, and all that stuff. My dog is barking. I should have closed the door. But they made such a big deal about these people being like Call of Duty devs and all this other stuff. And they were, you know, they thought they had their respawn moment, and that, you know, the game's not going to see the light of day. Payback, a game I never heard of, but it was a third-person Destiny spinoff from Bungie. That got canceled, and they're currently working on Marathon. So yeah, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 games canceled, literally, and I want to say these are all canceled between 2020 and 2024, if I'm not mistaken. So I bring Sony's problems up because despite this, right, a lot people are talking about it now, but you know, they were willing to let this slide under the rug because PlayStation fans care too much about what's Xbox doing. Oh, a portfolio manager said the Activision deal is a failure. They're not doing too good. Like, they're putting all the time and effort in this, and look, their own portfolio, their own pretty much games are not seeing the light of day. They're dying left and right. They're getting canceled left and right, but they're still worried about what Microsoft is doing. How many consoles is Xbox selling? What's the next Xbox game that Microsoft is going to launch on PlayStation? Because PlayStation is busy canceling games and not releasing games for PlayStation. So that's what they rather talk about. So here, this is a rare video for me because I don't spend too much time talking about PlayStation. I spend most of my time talking about Xbox, whether good or bad, but I generally spend more time talking about Xbox. A lot of people would try to, the way they want to jump in front of it was like, well, yeah, we're happy PlayStation's canceling these games. Nobody asked for them. They're doing what's right. Yes, they're going back to, bro. The way I look at it, it's like, okay, you're happy that they're canceling these games because you claim you didn't want these games, but let these games had launched and come out, you would have been capping for them because it's PlayStation and it would have been an exclusive maybe. You would have been capping for it just like you cap for any other PlayStation game. So you guys would have capped for it. So you say, oh, you're happy now, like you don't want it, right? But my thing is, how I look at it is like, every time Xbox had canceled a game, right? Back in the day when they were canceling a project, I would get so upset because I'm like, well, what are you guys going to release? Like, you know what I mean? So the thing is like, this is 9 cancellations from 8 or 9 different studios. So that has to have set them back, right? And some of these studios have shut down. So that's literally directly impacting the end user. You know, let me decide if I'm going to like the game or not. You already start putting in the money into it. Let me decide if I'm going to like it. You know what I mean? Let it see the light of day. So I'm not, you know, I don't care what PlayStation does, whether they release multiplayer or single player games. I don't think anyone should be pigeonholed into just making one particular type of game. You know, really make different type of games, see what hits, see what's what not. You know what I mean? But the thing is, the one thing I hate more than delayed games, the one thing I hate more than bad games is canceled games. I can't stand canceled games because I feel like any games that never released never had the potential to do anything. You never gave it the potential to do anything. So PlayStation's out there left and right, but you know that I would be concerned at all of these lists of games, right? So that means a lot of these studios wasted money. They wasted R&D. They wasted there's just money sitting there because all the people that had to hire for programming just to throw the game away, and this is going to have a negative impact. But no, don't let a PlayStation fanboy tell you this. They'll tell you, PlayStation is leading the sales. Xbox attempt to get users of Game Pass is failing. That's all they care about is Xbox, Game Pass, Xbox being third party. They don't care that PlayStation is showing signs of struggle. Oh, because it's all masked because they're the best selling console of the two. Really. It's all masked and protected. These dudes do not care if they don't get a single AAA big blockbuster game from PlayStation this calendar year. They don't care. Because as long as PlayStation's the number one seller, and as long as some Xbox One game gets ported to a PlayStation 5, they're happy. That's all they need, because they gives them more ammo to talk shit about Xbox fans, and it distracts them from realizing that they don't have shit to play and that Sony is out here struggling, dude. They're out here struggling. But that is my video for today. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And if you made it this far, say Weapon Will is back in the comment section below, because we will be back this weekend. As always, guys, Xbox is the best box. I am the best bot. Good night or good morning if you're on the other side of the globe. I'll see you guys on the next video. We're out of here. Peace.